Hello guys and welcome to my new video, and this is a big one. This is a very serious issue or a topic that I wanted to cover for a long time, and I talked about this on my Twitch channel a lot, but I decided to make a video. And I know the title is grandiose. Is World of Warcraft dead? Is World of Warcraft dying? And it is a very big statement, but you'll probably see at the end of the video when I talk about YouTube and the statistics and WoW related content, you'll probably get more of what I'm saying. Do I really think WoW is going to die? I don't think so. But this is a video, basically a culmination of all of the different questions that I received over the last 2 weeks. People were asking me, what do I think about the lawsuit? What do I think about the allegations? What do I think about people leaving World of Warcraft in terms of the content creators? What am I going to do? And all of this. I'm very open about this on my, again, I stream quite a bit. And on my Twitch page, on my Twitch stream, I talk about this almost every day. So I decided to make a video and answer your questions. What is happening? What do I think about this? And what are my next plans for YouTube, Twitch, and everything? So let's go and get started. So first of all, this topic relates to so many different things that are happening right now that it's hard to not ramble on. So that's why I'm going to separate the video in 3 different parts. There's going to be World of Warcraft or the game related section, because I feel, and again, there's multiple articles, including BBC. Imagine, BBC made an article about World of Warcraft and they called this the perfect storm. Because in order for Blizzard, again, I feel Blizzard and World of Warcraft is at its lowest state yet. But in order for that to happen, there had to be multiple things to occur at the same time to create this perfect storm. And we start off with World of Warcraft, the game. Then we'll follow it with Blizzard or Active Blizzard or whatever you want to call it. And we'll talk about the serious allegations, we'll talk about my thoughts about this. And we finish off the video with basically my plans, what's happening to my channel and things like that. So we'll try to have a controlled video with some processed thoughts in order to get a better view of what's happening with Blizzard and World of Warcraft. Let's go and start off with the game section. So first of all, this might actually sound pretty weird because I'm going to be somewhat positive about the game. I actually feel Shadowlands had the possibility of being one of the best expansions they ever made. So let's reel back to 9.0 and let's talk about the launch of Shadowlands. A lot of people, not just me, will tell you that Shadowlands had the potential of being, or probably was, one of the best launches in terms of expansions. There were problems with it, don't get me wrong, but generally speaking, a lot of people were hopeful. There were really cool raids, like Castle Natchery might be, again, it is a big positive in terms of raid design, with the kind of exception of SLG being probably one of the worst bosses designed in terms of mythic content. But Castle Natchery will go down as a successful raid. You look at Prideful, you look at Mythic Plus Affixes, people will probably like Prideful, they'll talk positively in terms of what he created. But generally speaking, if you look at the core concepts of World of Warcraft and Shadowlands, people were generally happy, in my honest opinion. I think the big overlying problems with the game were the systems outside of raids and Mythic Plus, which persisted throughout the whole expansion, and we'll talk about 9.1. But you look at things like Covenants, which were honestly, at the start of the launch, people were kinda okay with picking a Covenant, at least in my opinion. And they were sticking with one Covenant, and it was okay because you get these new abilities, you try them out, but people saw the issues with it over the time because they wanted to try out new combinations, they saw that certain Covenants were better for Mythic Plus, certain Covenants were better for raids, and all of a sudden swapping between them became a big issue. This was something that was reported in the alpha, and this is something that is going to be covered as Blizzard devs not listening to the community. And this is not something new. If this happened for the first expansion ever, where maybe the community felt they were not really heard in terms of their feedback during beta and alpha stages, honestly, this is my personal gripe. I feel like testing, using alpha and beta, Blizzard gets free testing. They get absolutely free testing from thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who check out PTR. How do I say it? I feel a lot of that feedback is unheard. And Covenant specific systems were extremely, or there were a lot of people who were extremely vocal about how bad it is going to be. And honestly, Blizzard just stuck with what they believed was the right choice and make Covenant still feel very restrictive, which in my opinion is probably the #1 issue of Shadowlands. But we're in 9.0. I still feel people are enjoying the expansion. I feel the core of the game is still very fun, and I feel the systems, things like Torghast, Covenants, Conduit Energy, AoE cap, are kinda sucky, but people are not realizing how bad they are. So now people are waiting for patch 9.1, and the first crack appears in the armor of World of Warcraft in terms of, hey, content trial. It takes 7, 8, whatever months to get the first patch released, which is insanely long. Again, there were external resources or external reasons for this happening, but this really did affect the population of World of Warcraft because a lot of people started swapping over to Final Fantasy. A lot of people realized that, hey, there is other MMO games out there that I can try out, and especially content creators realized that it is very rare to see this, by the way. You can swap from a game and not lose your viewership. People don't realize that when a content creator swaps a game, they take a massive hit, or they usually will take a massive hit in viewership, in views, and they might rely on that financially. So when a content creator decides to swap a game, there is some serious issues with the game that they're swapping from, because they're willing to take a huge risk in order to play something that they find more fun. So 9.1 takes a really long time to launch, and there is already people that are leaving the game. You can already see that people are extremely bored and things like that. So 9.1 launches, and I honestly feel, again, the same kind of deal. The new raid, Sanctum of Domination, is probably one of the most fun raids I've ever played. It is extremely fun. I like the Mythic Plus. I do like Tormented. I feel if they do provide new anima powers, it can be very interesting and keep it interesting with new powers. And the exact same thing is happening, and this is not the first expansion where you have raids and Mythic Plus carrying the game, and every other system outside of that kind of feeling really crappy. The fact that you still have your conduit energy, the fact that you still have your AoE cap, and the biggest thing, or the biggest gripes that I've ever seen, is the Covenant. There are so many times where I play multiple alts to keep the game fresh and entertaining, and I say to myself, hey, I would really like to try out Ikiri and Resto Shaman and Mythic Plus because they do giga amount of damage, but hey, I need to play a certain Covenant for raids, and swapping is really annoying. Or for example, I want to try out Mistweaver that is Ventier, but I'm already Kyrian. Again, do I really want to grind the campaign quest again? What about Holy Paladin, Kyrian, and try out the Divine Toll with Mechanicos? But hey, I need to swap out from Ventier, and that's also going to take a huge amount of time. There's about 5 or 6 different builds that I would like to try out at this given instance, but the thought of grinding out Renown, the thought of doing these actions that honestly feel so useless and such a waste of my time, it prevents me from actually even attempting it. So all of a sudden, this actually limits my gameplay, not encourages it, but destroys it. I feel, and again, this might sound really weird, but I feel Shadowlands has the potential of being one of the best expansions they made. And I still enjoy Shadowlands a lot. I still like the raids, I still like Mythic Plus, but I just don't really enjoy everything outside of that. And it's not just me, you can find tons of community figureheads, tons of Twitter posts about people just talking about, hey, let us swap Covenants easier, remove conduit energy, AoE cap is not great. There is basically community outroar for these changes. We'll have to see if Blizzard is going to listen. So this kind of concludes the first part of the video, and honestly the general consensus in my opinion is that the game is still very good in terms of where it matters, and that is raids and Mythic Plus. But everything else could be improved, and I also feel that there is some sort of attitude from WoW developers. I'm not saying every single one of them, but I feel there is kind of a god complex happening where they feel that they know what you need, while the community knows exactly what they want, and they're very vocal about this, but they're not being heard, which translates to the next section, where some of those developers are also an absolute creepers. So Blizzard and what's happening, and by many, this is going to be explained as the straw that broke the camel's back. As you saw, many content creators have quit World of Warcraft, have taken a break from World of Warcraft because, again, they might not enjoy the game. Again, if you look at the examples of MadSkillzzTV and Preach, I think most of the people will know that they didn't really enjoy the game for a long time. And the Blizzard lawsuit and the allegations and everything was basically the tipping point for them to quit the game. And I honestly fully see where they're coming from, and I can see why they did it. At the end of the day, you want to enjoy the game that you cover and things like that. Over the weeks, and it's been happening for 2-3 weeks so far, there's been so much uncovered information. There's been pictures, there's been tweets, there's been stories that came out, and the whole thing made me really, I don't want to sound, how do I say it? The whole thing is insanely sad. It's one of those things where you don't meet your heroes, you know the saying. And for the longest time, many people might not actually know, but I started off as a programmer. The choice for my career, when I had to choose colleges, I was like, hey man, I would actually like to try out and be a software developer, a programmer, because I'm playing this game, World of Warcraft, for the last, I don't know how many years, and I joined World of Warcraft. And can I, like, imagining myself working, developing a game that I really like and getting paid for it felt like a dream. So Blizzard was actually one of my dream jobs for a really, really long time. And I view Blizzard as these, like, you know, god tier creators who made these insanely interesting games, and everything about them felt really, really just amazing. So over the years and reading about these allegations right now is really depressing. It has kind of, I don't know if you've seen my streams and things like that. It's just genuinely like a cloud over my head to some extent, and I had nothing to do with it. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's there, and it's kind of depressing. I'm annoyed, I'm more grouchy, because it's hard to imagine that these people who were in these high positions were treating women, were treating employees in such ways that it was, I'm not going to say encouraged, but it was allowed. This type of behavior was allowed by a lot of people. There was a lot of images, all of these figureheads, all of these, like, you know, upper management. And you read these stories and you're like, this is insane. And I can see where everyone is coming from in terms of, there's so many people that I know that are boycotting the game. There's so many people that are not playing the game. There's so many people that unsubscribe from the game because they want to show, like, the only way Blizzard is going to listen is through money. If they're losing money, they will change things, or at least hopefully they will. The fact is that there's a lot of negativity about all this, and again, honestly, it's kind of insane to talk about this, but I do feel, based on the protest, based on the walkout, that there is enough people in Blizzard, decent, hardworking people, who are really want the change. They might have, you know, you don't know what they went through in terms of to join the company. You don't know how much, you know, investment they did and things like that. And they might not be responsible in any way of what's going on in Blizzard. And they want some real changes. And I think the walkout kind of showed that. And I feel very optimistic about the fact that there is a lot of Blizzard employees. Like I said, I mentioned WoW developers not listening to player base. Not all of them. I am willing to bet 100% that there are people who are hardworking, decent, looking for some changes. They love this game and they want to make the company a better representation, a better workplace for women or anybody. So I am optimistic. The real change is going to come from the upper management, because they really need to do something about this. I'm trying to track the new leadership. There is the new co-leaders. I don't know what that means, but I saw the two new co-leaders that were introduced. I know that the presidents and things like that were removed. I think some of the changes they're doing are positive, but it's all going to depend on the actual changes. Talk is cheap. I hope there's going to be changes happening, because I do believe that it's not only Blizzard. People are bashing on Blizzard right now, but people don't realize that to some extent, this whole, how do I say it? This whole industry is plagued with issues like this. So all of this publicity right now that's happening to Blizzard is very welcome in my opinion, because it might drive a change. Not only in Blizzard, but there's multiple other companies that have similar issues like this, that have allegations made against them. I'm not going to mention them right now, but I think people know who I'm talking about. So it's not just Blizzard. The industry in itself is pretty bad with what's going on in terms of equality and things like that. So keep that in mind. Hopefully, all of this is not going to be forgotten in the next couple of months, because internet tend to do that sometimes. Hopefully, all of this publicity is going to drive change in Blizzard, and therefore is going to drive change in other companies that have similar issues. That is technically the long-term hope of what could happen from all of this. And now this leads to the final segment and my plans. What's happening to the YouTube channel? Am I going to be playing World of Warcraft and things like that? So the general consensus of the whole video was, is WoW dying? Is it dead? What's happening? To summarize everything, I don't think WoW is going to die. I don't think WoW is ever going to die, because I think WoW is too big. I think the cash shop alone only requires a certain amount of people to play the game and use the cash shop for it to be profitable. So that's the capitalist in me. That's the negative view in terms of what it requires for WoW to be alive. Is WoW at the lowest point it's ever been? I believe so. I don't think there's ever been a lower point than it is right now. In terms of viewership, again, so I'm a YouTube content creator. I never really liked that term, but I am. Like, this made me realize I am a YouTube content creator, and a lot of people are boycotting the game, and I fully support them. I know a bunch of people who are boycotting the game. I know a bunch of people who quit the game because they want their wallets to do the talking, and I understand that. Unfortunately, I can't really do that. I fully rely on this. This is my full-time job. I've built this YouTube channel over 4 or 5 years, and I put in a lot of effort into this, and I'm really angry and annoyed and disappointed that if I look at my YouTube channel, I am losing subscribers for the first time ever. I am losing so much, like my views are down by like 50% or so. But inherently this has hit the channel quite bad. I've looked at other channels, they're either bleeding subs, they're either bleeding views, and if they're not bleeding views, they're probably just talking about this subject right now. But anything fully related about World of Warcraft on YouTube is doing pretty bad. And it's not just my channel. Again, maybe my channel is hit a bit more, but I feel like a lot of channels out there are really struggling with WoW related content. And it makes a whole lot of sense. Now the Twitch viewership is somewhat similar. I don't know why. It seems that a lot of people are still watching and things like that, but the YouTube seems to be hit quite a bit. And this is just the general consensus of what's happening with me. I'm still going to be doing YouTube content or WoW YouTube content because I kind of have to. Like, sadly, it is again, I fully rely on this financially. I don't hate the game. I honestly still enjoy the game. I still enjoy the raids a lot. I still enjoy the Mythic Plus a lot. I am still extremely hopeful about the fact that there is plenty of people that are employed by Blizzard that are driving the change. And now I'm keeping an eye out on how the upper management is going to react to that pushback. And honestly, the best thing that could come out from all this negativity that's coming towards Blizzard, the lawsuits, the allegations, the lawsuits from state of California, man. This is a big deal. They need to change. Talk is cheap. We need actions. I think every single person who is responsible for mistreatment or creating this toxic work environment should be gone. They should be fired. I think Blizzard needs to do some real deep investigations. They really need to do some proper actions. And hopefully the whole industry is going to look at Blizzard and they're going to try or should create or follow and create a better work environment for women or anybody, because it's not just Blizzard. There's a lot of companies out there who are responsible for things like that. This is my video, guys. I want to hear your opinion about what's going on. I want to hear about your opinion about World of Warcraft. I want to hear, what are you doing? Are you boycotting the game? Are you still playing the game? You can still play the game and support the cause. You can still stream the game and support the cause. I've seen a lot of these Twitter attacks, especially women in Blizzard, who are being attacked by people and saying, why aren't you quitting? Quit instantly. You don't know what those people, choices they made, how many sacrifices they made to get that job. So I feel like you can support the cause multiple different ways. And the people who are attacking people for not quitting, or why are you still streaming the game? Why are you still playing the game? You don't know the reasons. And there's multiple ways to support the cause, even by streaming the game or playing the game. At least that's my opinion. Let me know how you feel about all of this. Again, this is a very serious video. I hope people understand my thought process. Let me know, and I'll see you in my next video.